Hi, everyone, and welcome to our wireless drainage monitoring webinar. We're so glad you could join us today. I'm really pleased to introduce to you our speaker, James Taylor. James is an application manager here at Sensive and works closely with our customers and our product development teams to design wireless monitoring solutions to solve our customers' problems. With his technical knowledge and practical insight, he's going to walk us through some real world project examples that are using wireless technology to mitigate flooding risks. So I'll leave it over to you, James. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jackie. As Jackie said, today we're talking about Sensive's new drainage application. Quite relevant for me, coming from Wales in the UK. Quite simply, the home of rain. So the only place wetter is the sea. Let's get started. Transport infrastructure and urban areas worldwide face growing flood risk due to more frequent extreme rainfall events. These can cause surface runoff levels well beyond the capacity of existing drainage systems. Failure of a drainage system can have safety and financial implications for infrastructure operators and national governments. These can range from delays in cleanup operations caused by floods to major earthwork failures and water damage, destroying infrastructure and endangering lives. Record-breaking global temperatures in 2024 translated to unprecedented downpours across continents, impacting regions from Kathmandu to Dubai and Brazil to the USA. In Central Europe, early warning monitoring systems demonstrated the critical role of preparedness in saving lives. Advanced warnings allowed evacuations, road and rail mitigation measures, reservoir adjustments, and flood defense activations, reducing fatalities to fewer than 30 despite record rainfall. In stark contrast, floods in Sudan, Nigeria, Niger, Cameroon, and Chad, where early warning systems were lacking, claimed the lives of 170 people and displaced millions. Together with slope angle, soil type, and vegetation cover, elevated moisture content is a primary causal factor in earthwork failures. Increasing moisture content increases soil weight and reduces shear strength and cohesion. A review of 670 Highways England earthworks failures between 2003 and 2014 found that 74% of failures had some drainage problem. Here is a cut from our slope monitoring application. As can be seen in the video, Sensive is the world's most widely used remote monitoring solution for near real-time alerts of landslips, rockfalls, and earthwork failures. With drainage playing such a significant role in these failures, effective drainage monitoring adds a further tool for engineers to prevent and mitigate these failures. The drainage application can be added to existing and new slope deployments. Drainage engineers want confidence that their drainage system is working. As site conditions can change in a short sub-hour time frame, there is a need for frequent or continuous data updates, with automation of systems key to triggering alerts if thresholds are breached. Smarter, wireless management of these systems, drains, catch pits, channels and culverts, gives them the long-term data trends they need to confirm system health or initiate reactive mitigation if thresholds are triggered. This protects the integrity of structures, earthworks and slopes, allowing safe and efficient management of the infrastructure that they support. Sensive's wireless solution is based around the new water level monitor, with a mix of other integrated support sensors that give clients an overall picture of their drainage system health, offering long-term data trends and reactive triggers. Rainfall monitoring for localized precipitation data. Long-term analysis can inform how much rainfall can the system take before flood events occur and their frequency. Intensity levels can trigger alarms for immediate reactive measures, such as preparing flood defenses. Soil moisture sensors to assess ground saturation and slope failure risk. Where risk is found, tilt meters can be deployed to areas repeatedly saturated to detect and protect against shallow ground movement. Water level laser sensors monitor water level fluctuations in open channels, culverts, pipes and catch pits, triggering if client-defined threshold levels are breached. Finally, visual verification. The solar-powered cellular cameras enable 24/7 remote assessment without visiting site. Immediate alerts for fast decision making. Trends for long-term data analysis, rainfall versus water level versus soil moisture. Solar-powered cameras and cellular gateways for remote sites. Dynamic sampling and reporting. InfraGard intelligent monitoring technology adjusts to changing conditions. Integrated solution, so one platform can monitor flood risk, slope failure, track geometry and structural deformation, long sensor battery life, and high quality camera images. Sensib's drainage solution harnessing InfraGard provides continuous data and near real-time alerting for key flood risk contributors within the drainage infrastructure. InfraGard's network intelligence will produce images when alert levels are breached, showing clients up-to-date site conditions with network triggering, dynamic sampling, alarm escalation. Integrated into the drainage application are rainfall sensors that can be configured to site or project-specific requirements. Accumulated rainfall and rainfall intensity are the two important factors. Accumulated rainfall for long-term trends, tracking the amount of rainfall versus drainage versus soil moisture, and rainfall intensity for trigger values when large amounts of rain is falling within a short time. This can trigger on client-defined threshold breaches, bracing clients for further downstream impacts such as flash floods in sloped areas or ponding and flooding in flat, impermeable urban areas. Integrated into the drainage application are soil moisture sensors that measure soil moisture and temperature with research-grade accuracy. Tracks behavior of long-term trends for soil moisture versus water level versus precipitation. Trigger levels can be set to warn of approaching saturation and increased overland flow. This can identify areas of repeated saturation and risk. In these areas of repeated soil saturation, identified by the system as not draining correctly and at risk of slope failure, you can deploy the Sensib's industry-leading monitoring slope solution protected by InfraGard. Sensib tilt meters are extremely precise, long life, and exceptionally stable 3-axis wireless sensors. They are installed on posts and instantly wake up on slope failure, triggering InfraGard alerts and images to clients' inboxes or phones. The water level sensor uses a laser displacement sensor to measure a float contained within a tube. The LDS reads the change in distance as the float is raised and lowered by the changing water level with millimeter accuracy. Deployed upon or within drainage systems, they report on water level change over long deployments, 6 years at half-hourly readings. The sensor is protected by IP68 rating and has a water filter to prevent debris ingress. When triggered, InfraGard will generate an image that allows clients visual confirmation against water level gauge stickers on the body of the sensor tube, with further network triggering, dynamic sampling, and alarm escalation. A few of the deployment options. Bracket drilled into manholes with clips attached lower down the tube for stability. Suspended or mounted onto bridges. Jubilee clipped onto wooden or metal posts driven into ground in open water or floodplains. On posts in ditches. Drilled into sea or river walls. Hung from M-clips on catch pit grates. Or drilled into drainage structures. These are a few of the applications possible, and we send all install options with each kit, so you have flexibility for install depending on the site. As well as the Sensib water level monitor, we have integrated radar water level sensors. These have a longer range, 20 to 30 meters depending on model, and are ideal for attaching to bridges and looking down onto water. Here it is at our test facility hung from a catch pit grate. The camera alongside InfraGard is the key to this monitoring application. As the system is triggered by water level, the InfraGard network intelligence triggers an image. This allows clients visual confirmation against water level gauge stickers on the body of the sensor tube. Clients can also take and view their own photos with the camera at any time outside of scheduled events. Testing was carried out to confirm displacement data reliability and signal strength for below ground installations over a 3-month period. The displacement data tracked water levels very well and was tested against tape depths at intervals throughout the test. The received signal strength indicator was strong and stable throughout testing. We have also had soil moisture sensors on long-term test with at least 6 months shown here. As can be seen, the two sensors at different heights on the bank track very well during precipitation events. We also have rainfall sensors on long-term tests with the last 2 weeks shown here. As can be seen, not many April showers this month, until the bank holiday that was, but the sensor picks it up when it does rain, well below trigger levels. The kit has already been deployed in the field with some case studies here. Network Rail carried out remediation works upon this manhole and drainage system that had been flooding in London. They needed a monitoring system to be installed to validate the effectiveness of remediation works, as there is critical infrastructure in the vicinity. Sensi's new water level monitor was chosen to be installed to measure water levels within the manhole. The battery-powered sensor can be installed wirelessly into different difficult-to-reach spaces, such as manholes and catch pits. Network Rail were able to set the trigger levels they require and could then be alerted if water levels exceeded them, using the camera to monitor the situation above ground. The on-site solar-powered camera was positioned to look down onto the manhole to give a visual check of when or if the manhole was overflowing. A water depth gauge board was also installed to determine external water levels remotely with the camera. As can be seen here, these day-night images, the quality of the camera allows decision making for flood events anytime, night or day. The 6-month data set validated the effectiveness of the remediation works with no gaps in the data, ensuring continued protection of nearby critical rail infrastructure. Here, another case study from Scotland. A monitoring system was required to confirm the performance of this culvert and to trigger on any flood events occurring. They needed to be alerted when waters were rising past defined threshold levels so that they could monitor the situation more closely with the on-site camera. Sensi's new water level was chosen again and was drilled into the culvert wall to measure water levels within the channel. The battery-powered sensor can be installed wirelessly on or within most drainage infrastructure, such as retaining walls, giving instant readings on install with 6 years battery life. Network Rail were able to set the trigger levels they required and could then be alerted if water levels exceeded them, using the camera to monitor the situation remotely. Again, the quality of the camera allows decision making for flood events at any time, day or night. As can be seen from the last 2 months' data, the sensor picks up the rises and falls of water level with no gaps in data. Asset owners seeking to understand drainage performance and manage flood risk have typically depended on visual, manually measured, or in-pipe CCTV surveys conducted on a periodic basis. This provides data that is extremely useful in revealing parameters such as water level and flow, and issues such as silting, tree root penetration, and damaged pipes. The big constraint of such surveys, however, is that they are only valid for a single point in time and offer no data to analyze trends. As site conditions change in sub-hour timeframes, there is a need for more frequent or continuous updates. Remote monitoring has improved reliability and costs over the years to meet this demand, and thus uptake has increased. Where Sensi fits into the marketplace is the long system battery life and the range of additional integrated systems that can mesh through our interface nodes to give a more complete view of the drainage upon site within one online platform. This is an integrated, complete drainage application, not just a one-off sensor for water level. Further to this, it can also integrate within the network intelligence alongside new or existing Sensi structural, rail, and geotechnical monitoring, enabling a total monitoring solution. Strengths of the system include battery life. This is class-leading battery life, 6 years at 30-minute readings. Camera image confirmation of trigger events and the quality of the wireless solar remote operating camera. With the interface nodes, we offer the ability to add a range of additional sensors that can give a more complete view of the drainage on site. We can also integrate client requested sensors for more flexibility. InfraGard distinguishes us in the market with all the sensors protected by its network intelligence, creating a complete integrated drainage application and not just a one-off water level sensor. Finally, product approvals, international certification, and national infrastructure operator ties smooths the way for clients to deploy our systems with minimal friction. Thank you. Any questions?
Excellent. Thank you, James. Definitely great overview of this smarter management of drainage assets. I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in this with those automated alerts and really clear photos as well. Really interesting. Thank you. We have a few questions already that have come through. I'm going to read you the first one. Someone has said, can the individual sensors within the application be deployed as standalone sensors?
Yes, any of the sensors can be deployed as standalone sensors. Obviously, there's a saving with the telemetry. The more sensors you have per gateway, there's a saving there. But yeah, you can just have one soil sensor, one weather station, one water level station, if that's required.
Okay. That's great. Someone has asked about if they can use the laser and the bracket with their own custom pipes and tubes. I guess they're trying to achieve greater lengths, or maybe
Yeah,
if the environment is hazardous.
Yeah, previously clients have done this with their own specific tubes, obviously for longer deployments or big metal tubes that they want to put a float in. So yeah, a client could just use our bracket and our sensor and aim it down their own tube and float for their own individual requirements.
Great. Okay. Easy. So you spoke about InfraGard, which a lot of our viewers will understand that that's used on a flat mesh platform. But someone has asked, what about the GeoOne platform that we offer? Could you use water level sensors on a GeoOne platform as well?
Yes. So without having that InfraGard functionality, just having that GeoWAN sensor, yeah, it fits on the bracket just the same as our flat mesh. So that can be used for applications where they need the long range.
A long range distance, yeah. Okay, great. Someone's just asked a general question about maintenance. What is maintenance like with this system? What does that look like?
So we've had them on long-term tests for over 8 months, and they've required no maintenance. We don't expect any major maintenance, or we don't stipulate any. You have to go every 6 months to check it. We would say though, if a flood event occurs, so the sensor is IP868, so it can survive being underwater, but it might get dirty from the flood event, or debris might get in and start blocking things. So it's probably worth checking after a flood event that covers the sensor. But for general use where the sensor's above the water level, there shouldn't be any need for any maintenance.
Great. Okay. Makes sense. I think that was it in terms of questions, but of course, if you think of any more questions while you're watching this, please do email info@sensieve.com and I'll be sure to answer your question right away. So thank you so much, James, for presenting for us today. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
And of course, look out for our next month's webinar as well. Thank you so much. Everyone have a great day.